In the early days of Android, people would sometimes get frustrated not knowing when the big platform updates that Google announces each year would roll out to the rest of the ecosystem. That Android devices could be slow to update, but in reality, it's never been so simple as that. There are a number of ways Android gets updated, from the apps we use to the platform releases to the devices themselves. There is a lot more to this story, and so when the Android team told me that they were about to unveil a big change that will continue this evolution, I was immediately intrigued and I wanted to learn more. I started by talking to Matthew, the Vice President of Product Management on the Android developer team, to share with me what this big update actually is.
Android will be moving to more frequent SDK releases, with 2 planned for next year. These releases will help to drive faster innovation in apps and devices with higher stability and polish for users and developers. We'll have a major release in Q2 2025 and a minor release in Q4 2025, both of which will include new developer APIs. Minor SDK releases are new to Android, and they're there to introduce new APIs and functionality without having changes in behavior.
Wow, more frequent releases is a big deal. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that means for my release calendar as a dev?
Sure. We're moving the next major release forward to Q2 to more closely align with the schedules of major Android OEMs, which is 3 months earlier than in previous years. This means you can expect more devices to get the latest major release of Android in 2025. To help you get started, we'll begin the Q2 major release developer preview and beta program in just a few weeks.
This news got me thinking about how much computing has changed since the early days of mobile and how platforms can adapt to help push features out faster to users. For instance, you shouldn't have to update your entire OS to get a new feature on your calculator. Curious to learn more and eager for the technical background behind this news, I reached out to Justin Ho, a technical program manager and a deep expert in Android's development process, to break down this change.
In the past, software development was a bit like constructing a house. You'd start with a foundation, build the rest of the house on top, then maybe do some small fixes or renovations occasionally. This meant major innovations were delivered in infrequent releases, sometimes years apart. But the pace of mobile is much faster. Imagine instead that you're constantly updating this house with a new kitchen, an updated living room, or maybe a new door, but you can't actually move in until everything is finished. We struggle to get a good set of features all ready at the same time at a good quality level. With this new development style for Android, we have an easy way to swap in new rooms when they're ready. Larger renovations can remain hidden, take the time they need and be done right, then delivered when we're happy with the quality, all without affecting other parts of the house.
Next, I wanted to understand a bit more about how this news fits into Android's broader work on making the platform easier to update.
Android's update system is designed in layers, with 3 primary ones to consider: the apps you use, the Android OS framework itself, and the hardware-specific drivers that vary across devices. To deliver updates swiftly, we first focused on migrating features to apps like Gmail, YouTube, and Maps, which are regularly updated through the Play Store. This enables devices to easily and quickly gain new capabilities just by downloading new apps, and we've been updating even core functionalities like calling and messaging on many Android phones.
Cool, like how we send updates for our app to our users via Play. Makes sense.
Our next advancement, Project Trouble, introduced a clear separation between the Android OS framework and device-specific drivers. This modular approach empowers Android manufacturers to update devices with new OS versions without lengthy driver modifications, significantly accelerating the rollout of Android updates. More recently, Project Mainline further enhanced our update strategy. By packaging core OS components, such as the virtual machine, into modules that can be updated through the Play Store, we can deliver performance and security improvements with an agility comparable to app updates. This approach bypasses the traditional reliance on individual device makers, leading to faster and more consistent updates across the Android ecosystem.
After hearing that, it got me thinking, what do I need to do now with this change in Android? Again, here's Matthew to help us out.
So with the major platform release coming up in Q2, you'll need to make a little adjustment to the schedule you might have used in past years. You'll need to do your annual compatibility testing a few months earlier than in previous years to make sure your apps are ready for this Q2 release. You want to make sure to test your builds as soon as SDKs for the next major release are ready, as the changes involved in adding a minor release type will require some build systems to adapt. And make sure that you're compiling your apps against the new major SDK releases and use automation when possible to identify potential issues. Meta did this, improving their target SDK adoption velocity by 4 times across their portfolio of apps. This helped them seamlessly adopt new platform features, and when the SDK release rolled out to users, Meta's apps were ready. This created an absolutely great user experience.
To learn more, follow the link below.